Alright. What's the date today? It is the 12th of January 2017 and we have ourselves the first vlog of the year for the MX-5. For Christmas, as I said in the previous video, I actually got myself a few gifts from Revlimiter. So we're going to install these today, but I thought I'll show you guys what you actually get in the box when you order from Adam at Revlimiter. Now, I won't show you guys exactly the box, it's just a normal mailing box. First thing you're gonna see is this little red bag of goodies. I got myself a keyring, so the keyring came in this really nice felt little pouch. Got this bag full of stuff. Now, the cool thing about him, we get some gifts, and this time round, I got my, what is this? Aston Martin V8 Vantage Hot Wheels. Pretty awesome. Instructions and the packing lists and the gloves and stuff like that to install the gauges. Handy. Some stickers. More stickers that I don't know where to put. And candy. Great flavor. Okay, today I'm actually just waiting for Steve to come by and help me because he's done this before and I'm pretty much clueless, and also at the same time just don't like doing things like this on my own. I'm a bit of a sissy. Just setting it up, watching some videos back on, you know, what speedometer does before we install the actual gauges. But I also got the NBA on right now, so. Does anyone watch NBA around here? Anyone follow the games?
Plus of snow on the area over the last 24 hours, such that law states now that, hey.
I recorded the way the car kind of reacts to different gearing, different RPMs and stuff on a GoPro 2-3 days before. Just watching it back now, just kind of making notes. That's kind of what you have to do. That's what Steve told me to do. Watching just the GoPro footage back, basically what I got is warm oil pressure is between 2 and 4 at idle. Idle is around 1.21 to maybe 1 at times. Second gear at 40 kilometers at 3000 RPM. Third gear at 60 kilometers, a touch over 3000 RPM, around 3 to 3.1 to 3.2 around that mark. Fourth gear 80 kilometers an hour at 3.2 RPM. And the wide open throttle oil pressure sets around about a touch over 4 to 6. All right, Steve, just for people at home, what's the plan? What do you have to do first?
So the plan is to take this thing off here,
yeah,
and then take the hood off. Then we have access to the cluster. We'll take the cluster out, unplug all the wires from the back, and then we'll take the plastic that's covering the dials.
Yeah.
Once we take that off, then we'll have access to the needles and the dials. Pop the needles off, we'll take the gauge face on, put the new ones on, and the reverse of
cool.
everything. And we'll put
Is there any advice for taking that hood off? Because I'm pretty sure that's not easy.
Be very careful because because it's old, these can be quite brittle.
Yeah.
So you want to be really careful when you're taking it off. Hopefully, if you do it enough times, it's okay. But on your first go, it's always scary because you're not sure. So you just want to make sure that you've got a firm grip and you pull it towards you, making sure that you don't hit anything or trying not to hit anything. And yeah, just being generally careful.
Yeah. So that came out really easily with something one broken only.
Yeah.
Success!
Success!
Taking off gauges. Take it easy, take a break if you can't do it. Don't just force it and break something and then you guys have to, you know, replace the whole thing. Taking it off, at the back you can see there's the 2 plugs.
2 plugs there.
That's where you have to take off, and then there's a speedometer sensor as well. That's probably the hardest part there.
Yeah.
Because it's in the middle. Just as we got news that Kevin Love got injured, took this off. I really wanted to change this plastic covering thing to a glass on individual circles, but unfortunately Garage 5 stopped making them and Revlimiter sold out of that one. So I'm stuck with this one for now until I find the one that I like. Everyone's saying KG works, but I want something else.
Alright, so taking it
Using
off.
screwdrivers, hey.
So just a flat head.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3,
Just plastic
4,
tabs.
5, 6, 7 tabs, I think.
Yeah, you just gotta do it one
And
by
then,
one.
yeah, just
and
pop
not
them off
force
one
it.
by one, and then just taking your time with it. Should just pop off like that.
The cluster, stock cluster. Forgot to do a before and after shot, so this is the before. Fidgety with this kind of stuff, so again, the whole thing is just about patience. That's what it looks like. We're taking the faces off. I know what most people think when they see that. Let's wind it back, but don't. just don't. Just really don't, guys. The stock one all laid out.
New parts.
Alright, so this is the new faces coming out. I haven't really revealed anything to you guys, so this is what it's gonna look like. Now, it was really hard to actually choose everything from Revlimiter because they got really cool stuff everywhere, and all the designs are really mad. So I ended up going with something that's a bit more simpler, a bit more classic, and also a bit more retro, especially with the Mazda 60 logo instead of the new logos. Was tempted to go for the doge, whatever you want to call it, but and because it's not a novelty car, I guess.
Please no.
I really wanted the Ferrari yellow as well. But I just didn't think it suited the car, so I went with something more classic and more simple. What Steve's doing right now, he's actually ruining my plastic stuff. He has to cut these things. Why do you have to cut these things?
So you got to cut it so that when we put the gauge face on there, when the light lights up, usually if you don't cut this, then the light source won't be shining on the 4 o'clock and the 7 o'clock position. So we're getting rid of this panel that has like a little
Stoppers.
a little thing that's got nothing on there. That's what it was like before. Now that's useless, so we don't need that, so we can get rid of that. Once we get rid of that, there's all this plastic stuff that we need to cut away. Once we cut that away, then the light will be able to spread evenly across that gauge face, and you'll get a nice, good illumination.
See, what he mentioned was this step was actually the hard braking step for him because he had to actually brake the car, or break a part of the car. But for me, I'm like, because like someone else is doing it, it's not me, so if anything goes wrong, it's on him, right? We're gonna go test out the lights first, and we're good to go. Alright, that one turns on.
That one turns on, the rest don't. Hey,
Everything turns on,
there you
and
go.
we're good to go. Okay, so we now everything works, so we're gonna put the gauges back on. Now the tricky part is actually doing the other needles because the speedometer is the only one that's self-centering, so what you have to do is kind of guess or put it into 0 first, and then turn the car on and then adjust it while driving or just while the car is hot, and etc, etc. So that's the fidgety part before we can actually put everything back together. We got it on the car just for testing, and we got it running. You can already see the rev is completely way off. Oil pressure is way off as well, so we got to adjust that while the car is running. Just kind of adjusting the gauges now while the car runs. I'm gonna put this in between 2 and 4 once it's warmed up at idle, I guess. So we just adjusted as much as we can while the car is on idle. Got ourselves the rev counter here. I mean a speed counter. Is that speed counter or rev counter? Speed counter, obviously
yeah.
it's GPS.
Speedo, yeah.
And we're going for a drive to test if the revs are alright. So what we need to do is second gear 40 kilometers at 3000 RPM. And then third gear 60 kilometers an hour at just a touch over 3000 RPM.
Did you say 40 kilometers at 3000?
Yeah.
Sounds about right. Looks pretty good.
For second gear, yeah?
Yeah, for second gear. Looks good.
Alright.
And is the speed ring at 60 at the moment?
Yeah. Alright, the speedometer stuff, gauge class is actually done. Thanks to Steve for doing that. And we didn't have to adjust it too much, actually, just like once or twice.
Yeah.
Now I'm just doing the HVAC unit. You actually have to take the center console and the tombstone out. That's out already. I didn't really film that because I've done that God knows how many times. And all you have to do is kind of take the whole panel out. The funny thing is I still need something, I still need a double tape because this thing comes out. You just rip it off, and then when you put it on, you just have to glue it back on with double tape. Same as the aircon, the fan control as well. So waiting for double tape, and I can get that done. And I'll show you guys how to do it. I got the HVAC panel out. Just keep in mind to be really careful with small screws. The little slider screws are really annoying. I actually lost one already, so Steve's gonna get me another one soon. But this thing's out. Thought I'll do this one outside and then do the fan control in there. So what you want to do first is actually take the whole face out. This thing, if you can see underneath, it just pops out like a sticker. So you pop that out and put the new one back in with double-sided tape. So it should be simple enough and we can assemble it really quickly. Alright, that's now out. As Revlimiter says, there's actually no way of savoring this unless you're super duper careful, and even then you're still going to damage it, like that front logo there. But usually yes, they will break, so don't worry about it. That's the new one compared to the old one. We're about to stick it on. So the idea is to put sticky tape, double tape, where areas are lacking in glue. See, these glue will be reactivated with heat later on. So you can put in places where we need more adhesive. Alright, so that's pretty much what you want. Now you don't want to put too many double tapes. And now it's on. Basically what you want to do is actually heat this up with a hairdryer. The glue will reactivate itself and it'll be permanent, so that'll be good. But I'm gonna go over and do the fan control first so we can all do it all together at the same time. It looks really good. Kinda just have to put it all together now. Really happy with how it all turns out. Just kind of have to put it all back together now, which is the most annoying thing in the world. Done as many testing as possible that I need, so I don't need to put things back out again, hopefully. But yeah, really happy how it looks, and now I'm just gonna wait until it's dark and film some stuff with it with the lights on. Like, yeah, it looks really good.